Okay, I tried recording the other day, and apparently it just was not recording my voice, so I spent a good 15 minutes talking to myself. Really profound stuff, by the way, guys. So sorry the mic wasn't working, but I profoundly spoke some really good shit to myself, and myself only. Probably touch back on that topic that I spoke on at another time, but right now, I thought it was, I don't think it is, I know it is, an absolute opportune time to explain to you guys dissociation live as it happens. So right now I'm having a very dissociative episode. One of my grounding tools that I am using right now is this magical box in my hand in the form of a phone that records me right now, reminding me that there are people out there who are listening to me. And having a podcast and having this new podcast it just dawned on me that it's a great way to use podcasting or speaking or recording as a grounding tool for dissociative episodes. So dissociation, if you're not familiar, it's when pretty much your brain gets entirely overwhelmed with too much stimulus all at once, and it basically pulls a ripcord, and a just emergency ripcord that just takes you out of your body. And episodes feel like a dream. Episodes can feel like you're not real, like the life that you experience isn't real, and you wonder if it ever was. It really feels like a really good trip, but it wasn't intentional. You just feel apart. There's a veil between you and reality. And I have mixed emotions when I have them. In this particular one, I feel really like everything around me it's not enough and it's too much all at once. Now, I've been having migraine issues. Migraines affecting my quality of life, what I'm able to do as far as work. It's affecting my work. I'm starting up a business, and it's completely put just a big block in that business, a big pause that I did not want to take. Because of the light sensitivity, the sound sensitivity, all of my work is online. It's through screens. It's through blue light. It's talking to people and being able to be present that way. But with the migraines, have me in dark goggles, unable to look at screens, unable to read small print, because the majority of the coaching that I do, one of the services that I offer is mostly DM coaching, because it takes, for my clients, it takes that, it feels more approachable than a face-to-face every time. So I normally do DM coaching with one meeting in the middle of the week to touch base and just do a face-to-face. But with not being able to read small print, look at screens, do my promotions, do anything like that, it's just really kind of hit me in the depression. And very much so in the anxiety, with the catastrophizing. Well, what if these migraines don't go away? What do I do now? Because all of my work is online, and all of my work is reading and researching it. And what if I can't even ever go outside again? This is the way my mind works, folks. And that's the way of anyone with an anxiety disorder. That's what anxiety is. It's future catastrophizing, things that haven't even happened yet. But we create these stories in our heads, and the stories become real because your brain does not know the difference between something that you are fantasizing or something that you are just making up. Now, that can work for better or worse. But right now, I've gone 5 points off the original point of dissociating and what it feels like to me. So dissociating to me is I feel a sudden just veil, like I can see everything happening around me, but I'm not part of it. And I wonder if I ever was part of it, or if I ever will be part of it again. And do I want to be part of it? Is this just me coming out of the matrix? Do I want to go back? It can go really, really weird and really sideways. And so here's something that you don't do. Firstly, if you feel a panic attack coming on, if you feel out of sorts, don't fucking go to Walmart. I went to fucking Walmart yesterday. Because of everything going on in the world, I am just now flipped over into survival mode. Things I need to put into place to make sure that I'm safe, to make sure that I'm safe so that I can keep my family safe. Things I need to put into place to make sure that my family has everything they need in the event that shit hits the fan. And this is why I did not want to be shown the news. I did not want to be shown the news because I know how my brain works. But very well-meaning people, and people just don't know. They don't know how things affect you. So they'll say something or they'll do something that their intention is to help, but it does not do that for you. So my loving mother just brought to my attention the price of gas and how we need to start spending a little wiser. And I'm like, all right, that's cool. But what was not cool was that I took that and I started to research it on the internet, and all of these horror stories coming up of the impending World War III and empty shelves and blah, 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 and chaos. And my mind automatically goes to, I need to dig an underground bunker. I need to dig an underground bunker and I need to get it stocked. And because everything's going to shit, I need to build a whole world underground now for my family. I kid you not, guys. This is immediately where my mind goes. And being in this game of self-development and psychology for so long has me catching myself. It does. And I'm in that weird middle place of I want to go crazy, but I know better than to go crazy, so I pull myself back a little bit. But I still struggle in that gray area of whether to go over the line on my left or the line on my right. But right now, because of that struggle, my brain pulled the ripcord, and I'm just pretty much suspended in time right now. And I'm trying to find ways of grounding myself back down, and this podcast was one of them. This podcast is one of them. And I do coaching, and a lot of people are going to be like, well, how can you do coaching when you struggle with so much shit on your own? The thing with me is I'm very self-aware. There is power in having a struggle and being self-aware of that struggle and having worked so much to educate yourself on the struggle that you realize and you recognize when you're having the struggle, that you can pull yourself back and start taking steps and not spiral out of control. I've said it time and time again, but what puts me in a place of power as a coach is I know exactly what the fuck you are going through when you're going through it. When you're coming to me with depression, with anxiety, with overthinking, with dissociation. When you're coming to me with shit doesn't feel real, I'm losing my shit. I know exactly where you are. I do, and I can empathize that much because I feel it. I feel it. So when you are noticing, everyone's experiences are going to be a little different, but a lot of them have the same baseline symptoms, and dissociation, anxiety, depression, what have you. But personally for me right now, grounding, when I first notice that I'm getting dissociated, and that normally feels like a fuzziness. It feels like a haze. It feels like a delay in the time that I type a letter on the keyboard. It feels like a delay in the time that someone says something to me and a time that I hear it. There's like a buffer. And that's how I know that I've become disconnected. Because someone will say something to me, their words will move, their mouth will move. Then I'll hear words, and then those words will make sense. Everything kind of slows down, takes a minute to get to you. That's my experience, and that's how I know I'm starting to kind of disconnect from reality. So what I have done, the steps that I have taken personally, is to make sure that I have turned off any triggering media because my brain is overwhelmed. It felt so distressed and so overloaded that it pulled the ripcord. And I probably won't ever find a better terminology of words to use with that. But it's the panic emergency brake that your brain pulls, and it just sets itself free from whatever's going on in your reality, because whatever that was too overwhelming and it was going to blow. So when you notice that, when you first start noticing that, take those steps. I'm overloaded. I'm overwhelmed. I'm overstimulated. What can I do to step back? I can stop watching the news. I can not go out into public for a couple days. At least not as much, as much as possible. I can have quiet time, meditation time, reflective time in my room. I can journal. 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 You cannot not journal enough. You cannot journal enough. That was a double negative. So when you notice yourself, take those steps. Don't put more on your plate. Don't commit to plans immediately in the future. Okay? Don't put any more stimulus, more things to think about into your reality. Just stop. Your brain felt the need to stop. So slow down as much as possible. And if that means saying, hey, I'm turning off my phone for the rest of the day, you don't have to just turn it off and leave people hanging. You can send a message, hey guys, really overwhelmed. Go ahead and use Mandy's excuse, really bad migraine, phone's going off for the rest of the day. Okay? Fake a flu if you need to. Just shut everything down, slow down, and come back to things that ground you. Go outside physically, touch the earth, touch the ground, feel the dirt in your hands. Take note of what it feels like. Is it cold? Is it gritty? How does it feel? How does it make you feel? Do activities that ground you personally. If you find that Wim Hof is the genius of a man that I look up to, cold shock therapy will bring you right back. So go take a cold shower. Breathe, come back into your senses. You can hold a cold piece of ice. That's something that I used to do. You can also just bring yourself somewhere. Play with a dog. If you've got a horse, go fucking ride that thing. Go do some work outside, some gardening. Just power down anything that's overly stimulating and get back to the planet. Get back to yourself. Right now, talking to an audience that I have not talked to in a while because of migraines and because of stress, this is helping me tons. So thank you guys for being here listening to me today. And be well. Take care of yourself and notice when things go sideways. Okay? Don't ride the sideways train. Bring it back. Bring it back on track. Whatever that means to you. Find what brings you to your center and ride that pony. Center pony. Pony center? Ride that center pony. That is so weird. I'm going to leave it. Thanks for listening, guys. Be well. Choose wellness. I am always your Amanda Bellamé. Signing off.